My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Welcome to today's podcast episode. I would love to explore with you the beauty of having no reference points to who you are. So recently I've had so much change and I can't even tell you exactly like where it came from. I've been running so many clearings. I've been attending a lot of classes. I've been listening to stuff while I'm sleeping, and I've been choosing a lot. And all this has changed so much for me. And I really noticed that I've lost reference points for who I am. So when people ask me the question, like, even like, how are you? I often like had this moment of like, huh, how am I? Like I have no reference point for how I am because I've never been this before. I've had this occur through my consciousness work over the years, and I recall the first time it showed up, I was a little bit maybe worrisome and looking for the next solidification. Like, okay, well, I'll let like once this passes, then I'm gonna feel like I know who I am again. And what's so different about this time is that I am not looking for any solidity in this. I'm actually really enjoying the space of being undefined, the space of no reference points, and exploring not from trying to solidify something, but from just this total curiosity. So let me kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about. Um, what's your favorite food? You probably have a favorite food, right? Imagine waking up the next day and not having a favorite anything. You were like brand new. Like, I don't know what my favorite food is. I need to try all the food before I know what my favorite food is. What kind of clothing do you like to wear? I don't know. What clothing do I like to wear? What would be fun to dress my body in? Um, what what do I enjoy doing with my time, with my energy? What is that for me? And really from this playful curiosity. Now, some people are like, that is terrifying. I've been creating myself and building myself forever, and why would I want to start from square one? Starting from square one, which you're never really starting from square one, but allowing yourself to go to that space of being so undefined with no reference points of who you are means that truly anything is possible. Because if you have a reference point for, for example, okay, um, I'm not a clumsy person per se, but I wouldn't say I'm like skilled with like physical stuff in the realm of sportiness. Okay. So I was like never great at soccer. I was never great at like any of these sports. I really loved basketball because it was really fun, but I wasn't good at it. So that is a reference point because that was my experience this lifetime. Right. And so if I go to, like, say we're messing around with some people and I go to play badminton or tennis, like I'm messing around, but I always had this reference point of knowing like I'm not really that good at it, but I'm here to have fun. So if I had no reference point to that and I didn't know if I was really skilled at it or not, if I had a natural talent or not, I could go into that with this, I wonder, with this true curiosity and explore my talents and my gifts. Because if we have had infinite lifetimes, what's to say I haven't had a lifetime where I was like an incredible, like maybe famous tennis player? And I could actually tap into that and receive that information and download that into my body to be really amazing at tennis. But if I have this reference point to, well, I'm not really good at this, then I have to function from that. And you're always functioning from those reference points, even if they're not true. It's just points of view we've decided about ourselves. So this whole like being brand new, this exploration of being without reference points can be such a gift of possibility because from that space, anything is possible. You're really just exploring the infinite possibilities for you. But now here's what I see people do is they have this space and maybe it's like fun for like a day or two, like, whoa, I'm so spacey, like who am I? And then there's this sense of rather than creating you, it is a solidification of you. And that's often chosen because it's more comfortable for most people to be more solid. So we're looking for that as though it was stability. We want stable ground. We don't want to be on the boat that's rocking and we're not quite sure if we're headed, we're going north. Are we going in a perfectly straight line? Control. We want the solid ground, so I know I can drive exactly there. I can go exactly there. But on the water, you can't control every micro movement, right? You are moving. And you could say that about quicksand. You could any kind of surface where it is not stable. So we look to create ourselves as stable for us and for others because when you aren't predictable and showing up as the reference points that others remember you as, um, that can be difficult for them. I remember myself, I remember a family member telling me, I don't even know who you are anymore. Like, I can't even trust, like, I can't even rely on you. That was the thing. I can't even rely on you because I don't even know who you are anymore. Because I had changed so much. Not only had I changed so much, but I was changing so often. Um, that family member is now, I'm so close with her and she appreciates this part of me. But when it first showed up, it was like, how could you do that? Like, it's so bizarre. We're not used to this. We're really kind of trained to be predictable and to be stable and quote unquote reliable in these ways. So when you step out of that, it can be confronting to other people because they have been maybe leaning on you for something or they've solidified something and you destabilized it in their universe. But here's the gift with that too, is that when you are willing to destabilize something in their universe, they get to open the doors to those infinite possibilities we we're talking about. Not just for you, it's for all. We all get these infinite possibilities. So, this need or addiction to creating stability in oneself, to stabilize, to solidify, to structure your very being is a deadly addiction, really, because what that will create for you is limited possibilities, and it is also the beginning of decay and aging in the body. Just look at how many solidifications are around the age that you are. So, whatever age you are, there's a whole structure designed around that age. If you had no reference to that, if you had no, like, I don't know what, as a 30-year-old, what I don't even know what that means, or a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old. If you didn't know what a 100-year-old or a 300-year-old, if you had no reference point, like, oh yeah, then you could have it. But how many 300-year-olds do you know on the planet? Most of you will probably say none. So that's a reference point. In a sense, it's a reference point to it's not possible. It's a reference point to there isn't any, right? But if you started in the world and you had no reference point to 300-year-old bodies, you could truly create a 300-year-old body. You could truly create anything for yourself if you had no reference point telling you that you can't, or what you're capable of, or what you're not capable of. You're starting to follow me now. I can perceive it. Here we go. What a cool exploration. So where in your life could you let go of a reference point about you? Maybe you're not going to wake up tomorrow like I have the last 3 days where I'm like, who am I? But if you do, here's a great question to ask. This is a question from Access Consciousness, which is like my love and where all these kind of tools and techniques come from. If you wake up every morning and you go, who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventures will I have? That is an acknowledgement of a lacking of reference point to who you are. Because you wouldn't ask that question if you already knew, right? And explores into the curiosity of who am I today, and invites the grand and glorious adventures in every day for you. Who am I today and what grand and glorious adventures will I have is a great way to start your day and a great way to start to de-solidify some of these elements of you, these aspects of you that I got to tell you, they're not real. They're not true, because you as an infinite being are infinitely changing, infinitely evolving, infinitely moving. You aren't stable. You aren't solid. So who you are in this moment, even here listening to this podcast, is not who you'll be in an hour from now. But we try so hard to make ourselves that. We hold on to this point in time and we solidify that as who we are. I'm a kind person. I'm a funny person. I'm a serious person. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I am, I am, I am. Every I am is a definition that you're referencing constantly all day long. Whether it's cognitive or not, it's the energetics of it, right? So here you are referencing who you are all the time, which limits who you could be. Because maybe right now you're not a professional tennis player. But what if tomorrow you could be, if you choose to be? If you would like to create that as your life, is that if you'd like to create that as who you be? Because you truly can be anything and everything. And how much fun can you have along the way? Exploring that, exploring who would I like to be today? Like, every day you have the option to put on like a new outfit, right? And if every day you could create yourself brand new, what would be possible for you? Hmm. What would be different for you? And truly, what grand and glorious adventures would you have? Thank you for exploring this topic with me. You might need to re-listen to it a couple times as there's a lot of space here, you might notice. And when we're not used to a lot of space, we can check out. Our our mind will go off somewhere else. Our cognitive awareness can space out. Not that you require to get this cognitively, but the more you listen to something like this that has so much space, it's being so much space, it will go into layers of you and clear out different layers of these limitations that we're talking about, which can contribute something completely undefinable. And that is my desire to truly be that gift in your world for you. So thank you for joining me on the Curious Universe podcast, where we bypass the structures of this reality so you can create your own reality, because it is possible for you. Thank you again, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for exploring the Curious Universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?